say hello and welcome.
Hello.
We've been talking for
Hello.
quite a bit now, but it's fine. Let me introduce our guests. So, well, first, I'm Hannah.
I'm Anna. We
Hello.
have a Aquarius rising, by the way. It is 6:24 p.m. Central Standard Time on August 24th.
Yeah, and if you're watching the
Sorry.
video, you can see that we're all wearing black because Saturn.
Aquarius rising.
Um,
Unplanned.
and today we do have a guest on. My good friend Ryan is here with us.
Hello.
Hi, Ryan, could you just do a quick introduction of yourself, like maybe give your big three? I'm sure we'll talk more about our charts, but
Oh, yes.
and a little bit about your astrology practice.
Mhm.
Of course. Hello, I'm Ryan. I am a Pisces Sun, Libra Moon, Virgo rising. I also have, I always feel like I have to immediately follow that with, but I have an Aries stellium and a Scorpio Mars. Like, the
It's
energy
relevant.
really just conflict. But yeah, I've been practicing astrology for, I don't know, 3 years now, I think. And I very much, family astrology has always been one of my like niches because I
Yeah.
have some interesting lore when it comes to my own family astrology.
Lore is a way to put it.
Oh yeah, lore trauma. What's the difference?
You can also
Same
keep that
thing.
shit recorded though. Like you're
Oh, I have
cataloging it.
my doc, my family astrology doc is a force to be reckoned with.
It is the tightest, most Virgo thing I've ever seen in my life.
I
It's
also
beautiful.
actually recently did, oh my God, my project from last week was I went through, because so basically for the last year, I have kept a physical mood tracker where I just write down how I'm feeling each day
Yes.
and
That's
whatever.
cool.
I went through and I cross-referenced every single day of mood tracking entries with the moon transits and I put it in another spreadsheet. Color-coded.
See how? Why? Virgo. That's why. I
Virgo
can't.
rising.
With all of
At a
with all
Virgo
of the
degree,
air.
6 degrees.
Oh
Jesus.
my God.
Yeah. So if you don't already know this, folks, Ryan is the other half of my creative brain that helped me do the niche thing, where we went through and matched 24 astrologers to each other to do friendships and stuff. And he was actually the first, you're my first astrologer friend. I don't know if you know
Oh my
this.
God, I feel honored. I think
Yeah.
you're probably mine too. Well, there was like you, and then I have one other that I met right around the same time because it was when I started doing readings, but it was like
Mm.
my astrology people.
Yeah. So we've known each other forever and we've always enjoyed talking about family synastry and just synastry in general. I feel like we've already
Mhm.
like the things we always find each other texting about is I just met this person and guess what placements they have and how it works with my chart.
Literally, me when I started seeing the quadruple Sag, quadruple Gemini with a Pisces rising.
We're
Anyway,
like, yo, good times. So that's how we met. And then he was actually also in our niche with me and Anna. So we all went through that program together, which was super fun. We're definitely gonna have our other niche member Hillary on at some point to kind of show everybody what the
put the
full crew
gang
looks
together.
like. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Um
And Hannah
yeah.
also just realized earlier that each of us have one part of the three Earth risings. So
Mm,
we're
Ryan
super
called us the
thankful.
Holy Trinity of Earth Risings.
yes.
And I'm like, yes, copyright it immediately.
Yes. We
Honestly,
have
Trademark? I don't know.
Venusian moons. So
Mm-hmm.
good shit.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we asked Ryan on today because our topic is, as you might have already guessed, family synastry.
Bum, bum, bum.
The astrology of families. If you've ever like, once you kind of get into astrology, one of the first things you start doing after you get to know your own chart, at least in my experience, is looking at the charts of people around you. And a lot of times that's the family. And I guess like just to before we jump into it, the biggest things you kind of start noticing is like there are patterns, there are relationships in between so much, but some of the key synastry points that we've pointed out in the past, like the luminaries, angles, what other like big signatures do you see in family charts typically,
Um,
do you think?
Pay attention to the malefics.
Yeah.
You're not
It'll tell
wrong.
you a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that aspects also repeat for my
Mm,
family specifically. We all have similar aspects.
that's
Yes, I
cool. Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, we all have definitely some how shall we say, maybe juicy personal examples to share.
Oh yes, I'm ready to
Um
expose my entire family lineage right here and now.
I have the spreadsheet of like my ancestors going back to the late 1700s. It's
That's
like ready
me.
to go.
Me too.
I know. Oh yeah, no, we're a little crazy, but it's fine. So light trigger warning for some heavier topics ahead. To be
Yeah.
honest, we've all had some pretty heavy stuff happen in our lives. And I
South
think
Node conjunct the moon for the Saturn 8th house baby.
yeah. But I think it also is important to kind of share those types of stories because I think for all of us, astrology has been a really powerful tool in moving through a lot of that shit, and processing it. And I mean, me learning that my mom's moon is in my 12th house, that helps a lot. I'm like, okay. And it's in conjunct my moon because mine is in Taurus. So it's like, okay.
You're not crazy. It's just astrology.
That's or at least you can see why in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. Where do we want to start? I feel like we should start with luminaries. Just to get
Yes.
the
Sure,
basics.
yeah.
Because I have right off the bat, I have a pretty solid example. Because I feel like when it comes to the luminaries, that's where you'll see the most like direct passage of placements from like, at least when we're looking at like a parent and child. Like my dad is a Libra sun. He actually is a Libra stellium in the 4th house. I'm a Libra moon and my brother's a Libra sun. It's like straightforward.
Yeah, definitely. That's let me see. And that's where it gets interesting with my family is so I'm the oldest of 5 and then there's my mom and dad. And my dad's a Scorpio sun and my mom's a Libra sun. And none of those are repeated in my family and nobody, I think my brother has a Scorpio moon, so that goes with my dad's Libra Scorpio sun. But none of us have Libra placements.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's like almost no Libra at all in my siblings, and I guess this is going to be relevant throughout. So my mom really is not a part of my life or many of my siblings' lives. Like she dipped out a few years ago. So it's been really interesting to watch and like look at our charts. So like that was interesting. I noticed like she shares a lot of Libra placements with her family, I noticed. But like in my siblings, like nobody has anything there.
Disconnect.
Interesting. I know for mine, all of my family, my dad, my mom, my grandparents, my sisters, everybody, they all have a Mercury ruled sun or moon, and I am the only one without a Mercury ruled luminary. So somehow that happened. But my mom also has a Taurus stellium and she has like moon Saturn, so she's got some of the markers that it makes sense as to why there would be the Taurus moon here, but
Yeah.
it's still just funny to me.
I guess I will say though, none of us have Libra placements, but a lot of us have Venus ruled luminaries. So I'm a Taurus moon, and then my next sister is a Taurus sun, and then my next brother is a Taurus sun. So there's a lot of Taurus going on right there. Most of the synastry in my family, I would say, is more between my siblings, and that's been really interesting to see. Like you could see all of our relationships like that.
You know what was interesting is if your dad's the Scorpio, that's exactly like the intersection of like Venus ruled and having some sort of direct relationship to the Scorpio is Taurus. So it makes sense. That's where everything kind of got condensed.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah, because it's opposed to Scorpio. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Let me see. Another one I just keep because this is how my family is. The angles is actually fucking ridiculous.
Oh yes.
Like
yes.
me and my next 2 siblings are all Taurus risings. And then my youngest sister is an Aquarius rising, so that's, angular with us. And then my dad is a Leo rising. And then what are my mom and brother, the people who have the closest relationship in the family? My brother's a Sagittarius, and I'm pretty sure my mom's a Pisces.
Oh my god.
Unconfirmed on the Pisces, but that is definitely the one that makes most sense with her life. So
yeah, I think it's interesting because like me, so like my mom's an Aquarius rising, and my youngest brother is a Taurus rising. So those are the fixed risings of the family. But me and my two other siblings are all different mutable signs. Like I'm a Virgo. My brother has the Pisces rising, which I'll get to our chart. The synastry between me and my, because like my two of my siblings are just half siblings, and then my one brother is like my only like full bio sibling, and our charts are so weirdly identical in like the most backwards way.
Oh my
Because like
God.
he's a Pisces rising, Libra sun. I'm a Pisces sun, Libra moon. I'm no, it's like every single thing has some sort of overlap. Like he's a Virgo Mars, I'm a Virgo rising. Our Venus and his Venus and my Mars are conjunct in Scorpio. Like everything has something like that with every single planet, and it's so bizarre.
That is so wild.
It's cool.
That is
I would
neat.
just like to side note for the people that don't know their family's rising signs and such, because I know like some people don't have access to all of that, but they might know their family's birthdays. Then you can still look at the synastry with your family. You just won't be able to apply it to their houses. It will be more through the lens of how it affects you and how you see your family, you know, which can still yield a lot with helping you
Oh yeah.
look at the dynamics.
Yeah, definitely. Even just knowing like what planets are ruling what planet sometimes, like what they have strong, what they have in fall. Like I use it definitely very, I don't know, to work through shit.
Yeah.
It can be very helpful. One thing that I just was thinking about when I was driving home today, was my dad's a Leo rising, right? And he's a Scorpio sun. And my partner is an Aquarius rising, and he's a Scorpio sun, born on the same day. So they are flipped. They are flipped. They are the opposite. And for whatever, and my seventh house is in Scorpio. So I'm just there like, I am linked and I do not have a choice.
Yeah.
That has to be kind of like profoundly healing though, to have that experience with somebody who has like a similar placement but different, you know.
Yeah, it definitely is. I definitely experience their Scorpio suns differently, but there's so much in common. And Austin has a Leo Mars, so there's still that Leo energy that's there. It's interesting how it shows up in their relationship, because my dad's a Leo rising and Austin's a Leo Mars, and I will leave it at that. Like,
Woo!
yeah.
I'd like to be a fly on the wall for that though.
I enjoy it. No, because I mean, he very much embodies the Martian, and Austin is ruled by Mars. Oh, well, not ruled, but like all of his personal planets are ruled by Mars. So he very much does take on the role of protector, and my dad is not someone who likes boundaries. He's very much someone who has to be seen as in the right, which feels very Leo rising to me, ruled by a fourth house Scorpio sun. Family is the most important thing. So when someone comes and challenges him, Mars in his first house, it's rough, but it is really healing.
Astrology is not all scary and bad.
It
can be healing too.
It is, yeah. 100%. What was I curious about? Oh, so you mentioned that your mom and one of your siblings are both the fixed risings, and then the rest of you are the mutable risings.
Yes.
Do you notice like a difference in your relationships or the way that you guys generally like present or act? Can you like tell?
Well, here's the thing. This is where it's kind of interesting. Well, first of all, the fixed rising brother that I have is one. So
true.
Really,
that's true.
I have a whole lot of input on that. Other than that, this is his first Mars return. He's a Gemini Mars. And I'm fearing for him and his sanity as a 1 to 2 year old baby.
The terrible twos, my friend. That's
twos.
your Mars return, bro.
Literally. Well, also like Mars finally leaves Gemini like the same week of his solar return.
Wow.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But
March 2023, y'all.
Yeah. With the mutable, because the thing is like me and my siblings, it's like we've got the Pisces, the Virgo, and the Sagittarius risings, but then my mom is also a Sagittarius sun. So it's like there's still a lot of the mutable energy there, but she's she's also got a Scorpio stellium in addition to the Aquarius Mars, or Aquarius rising.
Mm,
And so she's definitely got a lot more kind of like tense, reserved energy, more
mm.
so than the rest of us. Except for, well, my brother, Hannah, you've seen his chart. He has the tightest fixed square I've ever seen out of any chart ever in my
Yeah,
astrological career.
that's true.
Holy shit.
There's
He
the
has
Aquarius.
two, and it's all his like benefics, because it's like his moon, Neptune, Jupiter, and Venus are all at either 8 or 11 degrees of fixed signs.
Like that's so cool.
It's
That's
intense.
really cool. I'm just super excited to watch and see what they grow up to do, you know?
What
my
is yeah, like how have you seen that manifest in any like specific way? Like does he how old is he now?
Well, this one, the fixed brother is
Mhm.
turning 20. He's a Libra. He's turning
Okay.
20 next month.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
no, the baby brother has a whole his chart's a whole can. He was born during
Yeah.
Venus Kazemi. He's
Yeah.
a Kazemi baby ruled with a Taurus rising. But my brother,
That's cool.
basically the best example I have, I call him my older younger brother because he's younger than me, but he's not an infant. So he, ever since he was like 10 or 11 years old, this is also his Virgo Mars coming into play. He has like the most like strict eating and like diet and exercise schedule of anyone I've ever met. He's very into like fitness. He wants to be like a personal trainer. Like he's very rigid and exact with like he eats the same things every day at the same time and he does the same things to get the results he wants, and he's consistent. And that definitely shows in the fixed signs.
Wow.
Okay.
Crazy.
I've been hearing some stuff about how Gemini and Virgo are actually really present a lot in the chart of bodybuilders and people that are super into that kind of regimented fitness because they can look at a plate and they can tell you how many calories, what the macros are, you know, just
Mm.
by
Oh my God, you
looking
know
at
what?
it.
My brother, he is a Virgo Mars and a Gemini Saturn.
Yo,
That's
the
beautiful.
malefics.
In
Yeah.
addition to all
Wow.
of the benefics being in the fixed square, it's like that's just how it really comes through for him.
That's
Whoa.
cool.
I
Okay,
also
so
think this
that's
is just a side note, but I think it's funny that I'm a Virgo rising at 6 degrees as a Virgo degree, and he's a Pisces
yeah.
rising at 24 degrees.
Oh
Ooh,
Pisces
wow.
rising or
that's
Pisces degree.
cool.
Oh, I just
Oh.
that's a Pisces degree?
Mm-hmm.
My Saturn is at that degree in Pisces. Way hey. Also, I was my mother's Saturn return, so that's fun.
Oh my God. Oh,
Oh,
that's
Saturn
we'll
return.
get into this. Can I wait? Can I go on a tangent about Saturn return babies?
Please.
In my family. So this one goes back generations. So basically my mom is my grandpa's only fully like biological kid. And his mom was born during a Jupiter Saturn conjunction in Libra. And in like 1922 was when she was born. And so then my grandpa comes around. He is also a Libra Saturn, but he has an opposition with Jupiter. Jupiter's in Aries. So it went like his mom had the Jupiter Saturn conjunction in Libra. Her son had Saturn in Libra, Jupiter in Aries. And then my mom came around and she also has the Jupiter Saturn conjunction in Libra, just like her grandma. But then I came around and I don't have the Saturn connection. I mean, I have the Libra moon, but I do have the same Aries Jupiter almost to the degree as my grandpa.
Oh, that's
Wow.
So we have this weird, and we're all very much like my obviously we're all very jovial people. Like my grandpa's a Sagittarius moon, my mom's a Sagittarius sun, I'm a Pisces sun. Like the Jupiter influence in our family is very interesting.
Sheesh.
That's really cool.
Wow. Wow. That is, yeah, there's always that. Now I'm thinking about like what is the strongest planet ruling wise in my family. It might actually be Venus. Now I have to look at my
For you, just based on what I know about you and your siblings, I'm sure it's Venus.
imagine.
Ours is easily Jupiter because we have like the amount of Pisces, and particularly Pisces with cardinal moons in my family, is very interesting.
Mm.
My uncle, so my mom's older brother, and me and my mom's current fiance are all Pisces suns with Libra moons and Aries Mercuries. But then my grandma, her mom, was a Pisces sun with an Aries moon. So it's like similar flavors.
That is so interesting.
We're all very weirdly connected.
I'm just
It's
staring.
tense. Oh my God, it's tense.
There's so much. It might be Venus. I think it is. Why am I like the only Cancer? JK, my little sister's a Cancer moon. I forgot.
JK LOL.
JK lol.
You
It's
know,
so interesting because we do inherit all of our placements from our parents. Like, I don't think anybody has a placement in my siblings that is not shared with something in one of my parents' charts.
You know what? For the longest time, because I didn't get my dad's birth time until like, I don't know, maybe a year ago. And for the
Oh
longest
yeah.
time, well, because the moon changed signs on his birthday, like late in the day. So I was like, you know, really unsure of what he could be. But I had always guessed, I was like, he has to be a Scorpio rising. Because A, my mom's a Scorpio stellium, so that just checks out. But I was like, something about his energy, I was like, he is very, very Scorpio rising. Well, then I get the birth time. He's a Cancer rising, but he has Mars on the ascendant.
Oh, that makes sense.
It was so I like my mind was blown when I realized that.
Yo,
I wasn't that far off.
that's wild. So many of those things happen. Like, even just look at so let's see. Go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, funny that you have so many Scorpio things then, Ryan, because Mars would be in charge of his fifth house, and so, you know, Mars is like in charge of his children, basically.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I had to look at the
And
wheel.
that is actually that is like my Scorpio Mars and my brother's Scorpio Venus are like that is the tightest connection in it's like almost to the minute exact conjunction between each other. So I'm like, of course, because we're the only ones that share a dad.
That's freaking cool though, then.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not cool to have the Scorpio Mars must be pretty cool.
I think it's neat. Well, the Scorpio Mars it's very hindered by my neurotic Pisces, Libra, Virgo tendencies. But like when I can finally channel that and like get some power on my side, then it's pretty fun.
Oh my God.
That is funny that you and I have so many connections to people with a Scorpio Mars, Hannah.
We do. Yeah. I was just looking, my brother is a Scorpio Mars. Actually, that's what I was just looking. My family's Mars placements. Because it's across the board in general with our suns and moons and everything. It's pretty like spread out. But with Mars, my mom is a Sag Mars and my brother is a Sag Mars. And then the rest of us are Virgo Mars.
Oh shit.
With one Scorpio Mars in the mix. And it's so funny because my middle brother, like the middle child, traditionally like the weird middle kid thing, and his placements genuinely are like way different than the rest of us.
Wait, how old is he? Is he my age?
He's 22. How old am I?
He's a 99 baby.
He's like 23. Basically. Yeah, he's a 99 baby.
Okay, because I have done a lot of like not necessarily research, but like I pay a lot of attention to there was a Mars retrograde in 99. So there's a ton of Scorpio Mars babies born in that year. I know so many other Scorpio Marses just because they're
wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so he shares a Sagittarius moon with my dad. He has he's the only he and my sister have fire Mercuries. But for the most part we have I don't know, everything's spread out except for the Mars, and then it's everyone's Virgo. Virgo, Sag, and one Scorpio.
I'm trying to think.
It's aggressive.
Because like so my mom, well, here's something I think is interesting is my mom is a Capricorn Mars, my dad's a Cancer Mars. But my mom's mom, my grandma, is also a Capricorn Mars. And that shit shows.
Yo.
Because my mom's is 12th house and my grandma's is 10th house.
That's interesting.
They don't get along.
Right. And that's what's wild about, okay, I actually kind of want to share my screen so I can show you my colors. Can I do that?
Oh, yes, please.
Hell yes. Okay, because this is the best way to share it. That's my little chipmunk friend. Okay.
Oh, so cute.
Oh my God, this looks just like mine.
I love that it's pasteled out.
Well,
that makes me happy.
There's a system, you know, the red and orange tones are the fire, the green ones are earth, the blue ones are water, and the purpley ones are air.
I like it.
That's all. And then they're all staggered for whether how fixed or mutable they are. This is my Virgo Mars. So what I think is really interesting is that so this is my dad's family up top. He's one of 4 siblings, and then my grandma and grandpa are on the top. The middle 4 people block is my mom's family, and then the bottom one is mine. So my siblings and my parents. So my parents' charts are on here twice, but and I think just like even in the colors, you can see my dad's family is so much more like watery, earthy. And then my mom's family is just like air, fire, water. Like there's very little earth. And that is totally reflected in their family styles too. Like my grandpa was in the military, he was in the Navy. He's the Taurus sun, Aquarius moon, Taurus Mercury, Aries Venus. Uh-huh. Yeah. The Cancer Mars. Shares Jupiter and Taurus with my dad. My dad definitely like that placement did him very, very well. But and then look at how look at his poor children.
That's
the
literally
Scorpio suns, the
oh
water
my
suns,
God.
like
That is my grandpa and his siblings are all 3 of them are water suns for sure. My grandma's also a water sun. Like we have a water sun. We have particularly a Pisces sun problem in my family, but it's always at least water suns. Like my grandpa's also a Scorpio sun with a Sag moon. So it's like,
oh my God.
which I think is funny because then my
Scorpio
mom
sun,
is
that's my
Sag
dad
with a
too.
Scorpio moon.
We've talked about that, right? Scorpio
Oh, I
sun,
think
Sag
so.
moon. Yeah. And that's also Austin, Scorpio sun, Sag moon.
Yep. Oh my God.
It's my lesson in this life. But yeah, just like, and then to have it be kind of, I mean, you can see in my siblings, it's pretty mixed. It's a pretty big variety, but we all have interesting little synastry with each other. We're all definitely on each other's angles. There's an inherited, yeah, there's an inherited, there's always like hard Saturn aspects, like Mars Saturn, I think. Let me see. Yeah, there's the opposition there, and then some just like weird ones, but overall it's a weird mixed bag. But I can see, like, I just like being able to see you can like click and drag different placements back to my parents and their families.
I love that.
Like I always wondered where Abby's Aquarius moon comes from, but it's like my grandpa's an Aquarius moon. Taurus sun, Aquarius moon, actually, which is same thing as her. So yeah,
interesting.
this is the system.
This is beautiful. I feel like I need to make one.
You should.
Yeah.
It's eye-opening. You learn so much by going in and doing like this kind of like whatever this shit is. This neurotic shit.
Yeah, and then
mine
these are
is I pulled stats from mine actually.
Oh shit.
I have like under
oh wow.
the major. I guess I could screen share next if I can figure out how to do it. Oh, okay.
Oh my
so
God,
this is mine. That goes back. This is how like I have so many 3 times great generations of charts. And then I have all of the stats for like fire and then like modality.
Stats.
I have the top sign that recurs the most across all of them. So obviously like, once we get crazy high up, it's like, you know, we'll start with like grandparents onward. Anything in orange is somebody related to my dad, and anything purple is related to my mom, which obviously I mostly know my mom's side of the family.
Yeah.
But let's see. One of the things I will throw out real quick before, because I mostly just want to get to the stats. My grandparents have every single placement in the same element.
Wow.
All of their inner planets are same element. They've been together for 45 years.
Wow.
And
that's how you do it, folks.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Let me see. Okay, so my family see, top sun sign is in fact Pisces. We have 8 Pisces suns across the board here, and most of them are people like not, you know, the greats away. It's like people actually that I've met and interacted with in my life. But Taurus moons as our number 1, which I thought was interesting. We have a lot of Scorpio Mercuries and Aries Venuses. lots of just Martian activity here.
Wait,
And
I love how you organize this. I have to do this.
And then for Mars, I thought it was interesting because it's mostly Taurus and Capricorn. We have a Capricorn Mars problem. And then we have obviously like Jupiter and Saturn come in with the air signs for sure. And then just lots of air beyond that. That's like outer planets are very airy, but the inner planets are very much like water and Mars. But we have a lot of water. Let me see. This is like
Yeah, look at
grandpa,
that.
my grandpa and his siblings. The 2 Virgo moons and the Sagittarius moon.
We love it.
There's just look at all this water in this section alone. Water and earth in this section alone is insane. My grandpa's the only one with fire placements.
Oh my God. Yeah, until you get into the outer planets, that they are almost exclusively earth and water.
Oh yeah.
Like there's
like no wonder I'm like this.
No wonder you guys all talk to each other and shit too. Like actually are connected.
You know what though? We really don't. We have,
really? Okay.
We have kind of like, at least with like when it comes to like extended family, like I talked to like me and my siblings have a good relationship. That's about it. Everything else is very much like a don't ask, don't tell. Like there's lots of like deep harbored family secrets, which I feel like ties into all the Scorpio. But like
that makes sense. Yeah.
we do not talk about things at all. We just hold on to it. The earth just holds on to it inside real tight.
Scorpio Mercury x Earth.
Literally. But like I think it's funny. I relate a lot to my little sister. She just turned 8. She's actually a triple Cancer because her Jupiter is in conjunction with her Cancer moon.
God bless.
But she's also a Sag rising with 2 strong Gemini placements and a Libra Mars. It's like she's very emotional and expressive. Her Gemini Mercury is also unaspected, which is wild too.
There's that.
She's had a constant stream of consciousness coming out of her mouth. Like she's so sweet though. But yeah, I think it's actually funny. So me, my younger brother and my younger sister are all like sunset babies. So we should in Placidus we all have 7th house suns, but with whole sign they actually have 8th house suns, which I think is interesting because I have an 8th house stellium regardless. But then so like I have the 8th house stellium. Both of my siblings have their suns in the 8th, multiple planets in the 8th, and then my youngest brother, the infant one, has a 12th house stellium in Aries.
Wow.
With a Venus, Cazimi, and Chiron. And it is interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
But the extended cousins, look at all that water in this one lineage.
And then Virgo.
And then yeah.
Wow.
Well, the Virgo is the mom. The Virgo is my grandma's sister, and then it's no, I lied. No, it's not. It's the mom of all of the rest of those water signs, though.
Holy shit.
It's crazy. We are a watery bunch.
And then all of the earth and air moons.
Yeah,
it's like water sun with an earth and air moon.
Yep.
Wow.
It's insane.
That's fucking amazing.
Look at all those Mercuries. Look at all those Mercuries.
Water.
It's just water.
I'm just gonna call your family the Great Flood.
For real.
What is that like? Is everyone just like a very emotional communicator?
Oh yes. It manifests though in like, because this is the thing, there's a lot of earth and air undertones to all of this water. So people will hold on to their feelings, and they'll go around to everyone else and talk about what's going on, but they won't. No one knows how to confront.
There's no fire.
Too much water.
There's no fire.
No fire. So no one knows how to actually confront. So we just fester until eventually it explodes, and then we have these insane emotional blowouts. Like it's so bad.
And it's literally the Great Flood.
Literally, it's the Great Flood.
There's no fire to be seen, just a flood. Holy fucking shit. Oh my god, that's funny.
Right.
Do we want to do some more like meta talking over the family synastry instead of just giving examples? Because I feel like given a lot of examples.
Yeah, it's hard to like
examples, but here's how we can teach you to apply these to your actual
chart.
Well, I think finding those patterns is a really big part of applying that.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
knowing that you have a shit ton of water Mercuries
Mhm.
that are fueled by earth and air instead of by fire, like that's helpful
Yeah.
to know
Yeah.
Because
how
it
to deal
helps
with
you
that.
figure out kind of how to navigate the way that your family interacts with each other
Mm,
from like almost an external perspective.
Mhm.
Like when I watch my mom, my grandma get into a fight about something, and I'm like, oh, well, that's just her Pisces Mercury going up against my mom's Scorpio Mercury, and they're just being passive aggressive right now. Like things like that. Like it's
Yeah.
finding
That
those kinds of like, I don't know, synchronicities in everyone's charts really just, I don't know, puts it into perspective.
it can
yeah.
help you almost like hack how to deal with family drama because then you can
Mhm.
just kind of think about the placements that they have and okay, well, how would you handle this specific placement, you know?
Mhm.
Or you might just take it less personally because it's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, they're just that way.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And like knowing that you have certain synastry people. So like, for example, I mean, I feel like examples are the best way to teach if you as long
I
as we do
know.
it intentionally. But like, so my dad's a Leo rising. I'm a Cancer sun. My son is in his 12th house. We've talked about this before, but
Oh,
like,
yeah.
um, having someone's son in your 12th house, like I'm just shining a light on everything that he would rather keep like completely isolated, tucked away, doesn't want to talk about it,
Mhm.
like the darkest, most sensitive parts of him, which already is a very Cancer theme. I feel like having a Leo rising, and what's funny too is then he's a Leo rising ruled by the sun in the fourth in Scorpio. So like his son is trining my son. He knows, he can see. He has a very clear idea of exactly all of the shit I'm talking about. But when I say it out loud, he can't deal with it. He can't.
Mhm.
Um and it's the that feeds into how I'm a Taurus moon and he's a Sagittarius moon, both ruled by benefics. So we have like a very loving, caring, like wanting to bring things together motivation factor.
Mhm.
Um, but I would argue that sometimes a Sagittarius moon can be just as stubborn as a Taurus moon because they're so convicted in their belief. You know what I mean? Like their
Yeah.
belief is what is so central to them and to their safety as a person. Like that's a Sagittarius moon. So if you're
Mhm.
saying something that and for me, what is most safe to me as a Taurus moon is reality, is like the facts and how it plays in. So facts and belief don't always mesh. So for me, knowing that we have that moon structure and knowing that I'm in his 12th house, like it makes it explains things. It helps you make sense of shit. And it's like, okay, how far do I want to lean into this 12th housery?
Yeah.
you know?
My mom and I, we have in conjunct Mercuries as well as in conjunct Suns. So I think sometimes it's really hard for us to communicate because we're coming at it from a place where we don't see each other, you know?
Mhm.
So it's very hard to step outside of our own perspectives and kind of go through the other person's lens, you know? But
Yeah.
thinking of it in that way is helpful for seeing issues, you know, because it's like, okay, well, we're not on the same page, but that's okay.
It's like we're just not. Yeah. I'm trying to
Feel
think
that
of
as somebody with like my mom is a Scorpio Mercury to my Aries Mercury, so it's that same kind of dynamic, except it definitely can be more explosive. So it's like
that's
you
Mars ruled.
kind of have to just
Yeah.
you have to tiptoe a little bit and kind of figure out how to navigate how you go about approaching subjects like this depending on the family dynamics that you have when it
Yeah.
comes to
Yeah.
communication. Well, because also, like, I mean, I'm a third house Scorpio. So, like,
Mhm.
her Mercury's in my third house. It should make sense for us to communicate. And we have our moments where it works out, but you just kind of have to test and see.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
other like planets at play there too,
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess I should say my mom is a Taurus Mercury and I'm a Sag Mercury. And then she's a
Mm,
Gemini sun, I'm a Capricorn sun, and she's a Cancer rising. So do
Okay.
wow.
it that way you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting that you two have the Taurus Sagittarius thing going on too that I do with my dad. Like
Mm.
different planet, but same kind
Yeah.
like there's that tension between those two signs.
Yeah, because my mom has Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars in Taurus in her 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has her moon and Saturn almost exactly conjunct in Pisces. That is fun.
Yeah, moon is a big one.
Oh
Moon, I
yeah.
feel like we should talk actually for a bit about the moon and
Oh yeah.
about like,
Yeah.
The
because
influence.
Hmm.
yeah, because we talked about how it's like traditionally seen as the mother figure, but it's kind of
Mhm.
evolved to be more of what is safety, what nurtured you, what nurtures you moving
Hmm.
forward, like what you need
Mhm.
to feel that sense of security. Um,
Yeah. I have a good example. So with my mom, she has the moon and Saturn right together, right? And she didn't really have a relationship with her mother, but her grandmother was somebody that she was really close to because she always felt a little bit closed off or like she couldn't be open with her mom. And
Mhm.
her mom my grandma is hella Virgo. So, my mom felt like micromanaged and overanalyzed by all of the Virgo.
yeah,
And then, so that's a way that's definitely worked out. So she sought, a different form of comfort and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah. My mom is that. So, I mean, this is just stuff I've been processing today because I just saw my grandma's chart. Um, but my mom's moon being in Aries, her mom's sun is in Aries. Actually, let me just see if she has any other Aries planets because I feel like she does. Where you at, Doris? Yes. My grandma has had an Aries. Oh yeah, she had a Sun Mercury conjunction in Aries, Kazemi.
mhm.
And my mom's the moon there. And their relationship was always very like superficial and transactional in a way. Like they had a very deep understanding, but also it was more focused. My mom was always trying to like please my grandma, like having that Sun, Mercury, and Aries. I mean, I should think about where her Mars is, but I don't know at the moment. That can be. It depends on how you choose to express it. The way my grandma expressed that Sun Mercury conjunction was very much her identity was through how she used money. And I think my mom having when you have Libra placements thrown in with there too, that can um stir up some interesting conversations about how like my mom's love language is gifts. She will buy us things and give us gifts and then complain about how she couldn't afford it because she wanted to make you feel like it was a special thing. Um but like I can see that very much drawn from that Aries Libra like opposition. Um so that's been stirring up some interesting thoughts about like that specific axis. I wonder if you have any thoughts about that axis, Ryan, because you're a very you have the Aries Libra thing going on, but like with different planets involved.
Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so I don't know. It's interesting because I when I think like the Aries Libra axis is very strong with me and my grandma.
Mm,
She's an Aries moon on the ascendant.
mm,
That I feel like honestly a lot of my grandma's chart translated into me because her and my mom don't get along, and I feel like
mm.
I came around and the universe was like, we're gonna give Leah a chance to figure this out with a child instead of a parent because
Wow.
like we both have we're both Pisces suns. She's got the Aries moon versus my Libra moon,
Hmm.
and like I've got that whole Aries stellium out there just wreaking havoc and just I don't know. I'm losing my brain cells a little bit.
That's okay. No, it's a weird question. It's a very specific question. But yeah, no, I've just like when you have like weird placements like that, and for me too, I should say, like I like neither of them are very big parts of my life in terms of how honest they were with me as like who they were as
Mm,
people. So now I'm just kind of like, and my grandma just passed away too. So it's like now I'm
mm,
in this like era of trying to like dig through their astrology and like find that meaning.
I get that.
Which I feel like, yeah, I mean, and that's a really interesting way that you can use it. Like the way we have like so many generations going back of people we obviously have never met, but it's like what
Yeah.
stories have been playing over and over and over
Mhm.
in your lineage, and how are you here to work with that? I think that's a
And can I just throw out, if you do manage to get like access to generations and generations of like charts or even just birthdays, because obviously I don't have times for most like anything that far out.
Yeah.
That's where it gets really interesting to start looking at the outer planets. That's when they really start coming into play in a way that you wouldn't really expect. That, like how I found with the Saturn returns through my great grandmother to me, and like through my mom. Like my great grandma and my mom had you were saying, it was a connection because my mom doesn't get along with her mom, but she got along great with my grandma, or my great grandma, because they had that like same exact, like almost to the same degree Jupiter Saturn conjunctions. Like they just understood each other on this like very intense visceral way that like and it wasn't necessarily provided by their inner planets, but was still there.
Yeah, and that's deep.
Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting. So it's like, what's the point then of the family astrology? Not just of family astrology, but like we see these patterns come in over and over and over again throughout generations. So it's just like, what do you think? What do you think that means? Right? Because that's where I end up going. I'm like, okay, so if I see like we all have Mars Saturn oppositions over and over and over again throughout different generations, like so many fixed signs. It's like, is that just a character trait, or is there something deeper here?
I like to think, because I am very much invested in karma, essentially, as a concept. And I feel like a lot of these cycles that show through the charts, especially the detrimental ones, because I feel like those are the ones that always tend to be the loudest, are the cycles and habits that need to be broken finally. It's like they are going to keep coming back and coming back over and over and over again until that cycle finally actually comes to an end and people stop engaging in the, potentially harmful like influences or whatever that, come from it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, let me think of a decent example with many of my many examples. But like my mom's a good one because she has so many Pisces sons in her life. There's so many, she's surrounded by Pisces placements, and she's had so many issues with my grandma, who is the Pisces, that I feel like all of these Pisces placements kind of come in we're trying to balance her out and like teach her, her lesson with us is how to manage emotions, because she may be a Scorpio stellium, but like she's an Aquarius rising, she's a Sagittarius sun. She doesn't have that kind of like, she doesn't have the ability to have a lot of empathy when people are extremely emotional. She's uncomfortable when people are extremely emotional. And she says that like out loud verbatim. She's like, I don't like when people cry. I'm like, okay, well, you have a Pisces oldest kid who is going to cry a lot. And so you have to learn how to deal with it. Like it's to teach, I feel like a lot of astrology, at least, and this goes for more than just family. It's a little more inherent with family, but it kind of goes for everything. But I feel like the connections that you make astrologically are a lot of times to teach you a lesson in managing certain things that you've never really had experience with before.
Yeah, absolutely. That actually, what you were saying before though about the patterns reemerging and like being a chance to like fix stuff, it's interesting because we've been talking about aspects too, but angular, so in my family there's a lot of angular Neptune, and we've kind of, Anna and I have talked about this, but in my family that manifests as addiction. So
Same
it's
for mine.
interesting. It's really interesting to see how the family members I do have that do have Neptune on the angle have struggled a lot more with that kind of thing. And then there's other aspects and placements too where, I feel like there's this rhetoric that people use when talking about manifestations of the sign, and they're like the higher expression and the lower expression, and I really hate that. I really fucking hate that. Like it's way more of just like a spectrum. There is not an inherently good or a bad side to each sign. There's different ways it can be expressed.
You
so
can embody both ends of it at the same time.
It's
not all
like,
cut and dry, good and bad.
Exactly. And like, as like, I'll use myself, a Taurus, as an example. Like Taurus can be like, oh, they're so lazy. Okay, that's one expression of Taurus. Or they're so refined, they're so stubborn. Yeah, we can be all of those things, but why are all of those inherently bad things? because I
Everything can
doesn't,
play through positively somehow. Like traits are just,
yeah.
you know,
Traits are just traits. Like they're
yeah.
just, this is, and see, this is like the pragmatic, like Taurus side of me. It's like, it just is what it is. Like there is no inherent, like being stubborn is not good and it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just a trait that people have. The
Mhm.
only reason and I'm going to get on my soapbox, I feel like there's so much inherently capitalistic, like connotations to the way that we interpret a lot of signs that needs to be very much like ignored. Like lazy
Mm,
is, the word lazy doesn't exist without capitalism. Like,
yeah,
Mhm.
so
very true.
Taurus enjoys to take its time to move slowly, to
Mm,
savor. Like, those are just the traits of the sign. And the way we express those traits, or experience, I should say, those traits, that can flavor our experience as humans in this world in certain ways. So like if I do choose as a person, as a Taurus, to take my time and move slowly through the world, it's going to have an effect. It just is,
mm,
because this is not a slow world. It's a fast world. So I'm going to encounter like difficulties from that expression, but that's it, it's not a good or bad thing. So
Mhm.
I feel like there's a lot of when you're looking at the patterns in charts that you share with your family members, or the aspects that you share, or the any kind of synastry that you have with them, it's important to remember, like if I hear one more person be like, oh, he's a Scorpio sun, that makes a lot of sense. Like, no, why does it make sense? Tell me why. Think about it. Like, think about what it
yeah.
actually means. Like, everyone needs to spend more time with the archetypes. Like,
Mm,
getting honest with it. I'm serious. I don't know. That's my soapbox
yeah.
for the day.
I agree though. It's just like, I don't know. There's too much generalization.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. I mean, that's just like that's always one of the issues with astrology, sun sign astrology, generalizing the signs.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know. It's interesting, and this is like advice I will like always give to anybody learning literally anything about astrology, which is just find people that you know, and you know their habits, and you know the way they interact with life, and figure
Mhm.
out their chart through that lens.
Mm.
Understand the signs through the experience of seeing them in action,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
because you will get a whole like, because I mean me, I'm in, I'm insane. I'm a Virgo. I have charted hundreds and hundreds of people's charts that I know, just to study and look through and find patterns and look for things like this. Say similar to how I did with this family astrology. I've done it with just everyone that I know. And
Mm-hmm.
it really helps, like, I don't know. It really shapes kind of like an actual understanding of how each sign
Yeah.
manifests,
It
you know?
contextualizes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's super important to, I mean, we talked about it last episode, but like, just really being careful of your bias. And I'm going to say it probably every episode now. It's going to be my motto, and I'm fine
Yeah.
with it,
It's
We'll
because
so
get you a
true.
t-shirt.
thank you.
Yes.
Check your bias. Thanks.
Mhm.
A little check mark. I don't know. Ooh, designs. I'm ADHD. Anyway. Um, but how was I gonna relate this back? Somebody else take the mic. I'm gonna rant again. No, I was gonna
Jesus, take the wheel. It's just going through my head right now. I don't know why.
Jesus, take the wheel.
I don't even like that song, but
I
it's
heard
just
it too
there.
many songs, dude. Oh my gosh. Random side note, family story. So like growing up, I was homeschooled. We all know this. Maybe not our listeners. Fun fact, I
The
was
three of us
homeschooled.
know this.
Now they know.
Now you know. Lot explains a lot. But like, so we only listened to Christian music until I was in like seventh grade. And then when my parents started splitting up, like they started listening to their own music again. And it was just really weird for like some of the first like music I listened to. Cause I listened, like whenever my mom would play something new, I'd be like listening, like rapt attention, like, this is not the music of God. What is this? Like, like trying to like listen so carefully, like this is so cool. So hearing like Jesus take the wheel as a like 11, 12-year-old child, and like listening really carefully to those lyrics, what a fucking trip. Like I was like, what? it's a car accident. I'm like there, like listening to the whole story. Anyway, that's a story about my Mercury and Venus conjunct in Cancer. Um, conjunct my mom's Jupiter, actually. My mom has Jupiter in Cancer.
Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
exalted jupe jupe. That
Mhm.
totally makes
Yeah.
I'm about to say that totally makes sense though.
But it does.
Yeah.
Tell us why it makes sense, Anna.
Okay, well, I mean, your mom was in a cult. So
Was
you know,
currently.
I mean,
Mom, get out, please.
the exalted Jupiter
Just send her a link.
on the spectrum of exalted
Yeah.
Jupe, you got fanaticism somewhere in there. So
Dude, and she
Yeah.
has on to go with that. So Pisces, Saturn, pretty sure Pisces rising. Hello, ruled by that Saturn. I'm sorry, Jupiter. And then she has Mars and Venus conjunct in Sagittarius. So it's just there's a lot of
Okay.
Jupiter.
There's a
it was
lot
bound to
of like
happen.
grandiosity in that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Oh
What is-
yeah.
What is her Uranus conjunction thing that she has too? Because there was like that big thing, and that was
She
also
was born on the day of the Pluto Uranus conjunction in Virgo. And we wonder why we all have Virgo Mars.
I love
Ma'am.
that.
ma'am.
That conjunction is on my poor youngest sister's Jupiter Sun Mars conjunction in Virgo. I'm like,
Oh
I
my
sorry.
God.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's just manifested as, and I guess it's manifested as pure chaos, like genuinely. Just, you have two planets, Uranus who's chaotic, Pluto who's violent,
Pluto.
chaotic.
Pluto does what it wants.
Pluto does what
Yeah.
it wants. And
It's
in
like
Virgo,
the cat.
in Virgo, it's like how do you even delineate that? It's so particular. Like any slight disturbance, the slightest of disturbances could set it off. Like walking on eggshells is 100% like feels like walking around a Uranus Pluto conjunction in Virgo person. And it's interesting because a lot of people born in between, what is it, 63 and 65 have that in their charts because those are two slow ass moving planets. So it's
Oh
like
yeah.
that generation, and this is interesting too, getting into the generational astrology kind of ties into the family stuff. Like that conjunction as a generation is very much like so particular. And if you do, it's like they have this really secret, really intense code of ethics. And if you fuck it up with them, it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
That
that's
checks
my
out.
parents. Mm-hmm.
My mom has the conjunction too, but it's 5 degrees away, so it's not as strong. But
Yeah, but it's that
yeah,
generation,
yeah, it's a whole generational thing. I think it really speaks a lot about how they parented too. That's why so many of us have
Yeah.
the same experiences,
Mm-hmm.
Is that
I have incredibly young parents, so
Yeah,
my
that
mom
is
wasn't
true.
born until 1980. So
Oh,
But-
that's fun though.
well, because then here's the thing. So I was looking because I know that my dad has a Pluto North Node conjunction in the 4th house in Libra with
Mhm.
Sun. But I knew that obviously like my mom has the Jupiter Saturn conjunction with Pluto in Libra. That one's in her 9th though, and I'm just like looking at this complete pile up because most of it, with the exception of my mom's Pluto, all of the other like 5 placements across their 2 charts are in like the first half of Libra. And I think that's interesting because that is, first of all, every single one of my planets is before 15 degrees. And then, of course, the final planet in my chart was my moon in Libra. 14
In Libra.
degrees. Like going void. I will never get over the fact that my moon was void for 30 hours after I was born.
Have fun with your progress charts.
holy shit.
Ah!
No wonder I have no life direction whatsoever.
It's okay. It's really
It's in my
okay.
2nd house too. How am I ever gonna make money? I'm getting ready to quit my current job because it makes me miserable.
You and me both. There's like whispers of a promotion in the air, and I'm like, should I stay? Should
There is no
I?
promoting for me. It's just back-breaking work. every day for an
Fuck it,
indefinite
man.
amount of time because they don't tell you until you get there.
Oh my
That
God.
should be illegal.
That's housekeeping.
That's housekeeping. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Holy shit. We're doing this in the evening. I don't know if many of us are evening folks. I'm personally a morning person.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
We're all like, it's a long, hard day. But also for context, and this is relevant, Mars entered Gemini like 4 days ago and has been causing chaos ever since. And I'm exhausted.
Oh my God, maybe that's why I want to quit my job so bad. 10th house.
Yes, that's why. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Oh my God. Because it did start getting, this week in particular was like my breaking point where I finally was like, I'm going on Indeed. Like,
That was me. I was just, I love that we're all doing like gym things this week as well. All of a
I
sudden.
know, I finally started working out again. That I'm totally pinning on Virgo season though. I'm like, first
Mm,
house sun,
combo.
let's go.
Let's go.
It's like a combo. Let's go. Yeah, so
I was just trying to use it as mitigation because this is all happening in my 6th house, and then it hasn't worked, folks.
it has
So
not been working.
sometimes the transit is gonna transit no matter what you want it to do.
Nah. Yeah, it's been a fucking
Fine.
it's been a shit show, and here we are. Buckle your seatbelts, folks. We're here for the next 7 months.
Okay.
Woo!
Well,
On that
Good
note,
shit.
yeah.
Ryan, where can people find you?
Well, most of my socials, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are NeuroticJupiter, but I also have an astrology TikTok that I'm going to try to force myself to start updating again. That is called Promethean Curse. My website is also prometheancurse.com. I can finally plug this. Starting September 1st, I'm going to start doing little daily transit pieces. I've been doing them for the month of August to kind of practice, and I think it's just fun to have a little overview of the day before you get into it. So
Oh, I
I'm
love
going to start
that.
posting those on my website, and I offer readings. So if anyone wants their family charts read, let me know and send me all the
Yes.
info, and I will do this for you.
100%. He absolutely will.
I really will. I've done it before, actually, even really early on. That was definitely a little more than I could chew like 2 years ago, but like I still did it and I got it done, and my client really enjoyed it.
God
Oh,
bless.
shit. Ryan
Oh my
is the
God.
family expert. So
100%.
all of your family related needs, go to Ryan.
Literally. I mean, I do have a fire trine, and my 4th house is involved in it. So
I love that. I love that part. That's a good one. Yeah, so thank you so much for being here with us, Ryan. That was so much fun to talk about. I'm sure we'll have you on to talk probably more about it because there's so fucking much we could go
or even just
into.
other things. I could ramble about astrology all day.
Oh, hell yeah.
If we ever get into Synastry I have done so much hindsight X Synastry. Just letting you know, I mean.
Synastry of X's. Let's
If
go.
I could go on a whole tangent about my one ex that is also a Virgo rising, only 3 degrees apart from mine. I've gone on that tangent to you, Hannah.
Yes, you sure have. It's the best.
It's so interesting.
I'm so excited. No, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much. Anna, where can the people find us?
At Primordial Threads on Twitter.
And on YouTube.
That too.
Yeah,
we have other things.
Where you should be watching this because you can all see my cool spreadsheet.
Exactly. You can also find me at Aluna Astrology on Twitter and Instagram.
That's Saturnian, sorry.
It's okay.
It's almost my bedtime, so my brain is like must gym.
I feel that.
Oh my God. Well, thank you everybody. Have a fabulous evening and goodbye.
Bye.